Well, my fuel pump went out. So I'm going to change it the easy way. We're fixing to make a hole. Oh, that's great. I'm nowhere near my fuel tank. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, that's top of my fuel pump assembly. And it's right up under that strut. So I'm going to have to cut that. I didn't need to cut this far back after all, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to have to cut it on up closer to the cab and cut that bar out. And I think I'm gonna I'll worry about how to reinforce that floor later. Had to cut that cross piece. I didn't feel the sides of the truck fall down when I cut it, so I guess we're okay. Well, I got my new pump in, and I'm gonna tell you, my old truck runs like a scalded dog now. I've got to cut a piece of metal to go over that hole. I don't have anything right off, and I really don't have time to do anything else. I got this thing running. That's what's important. It is supposed to rain quite a bit tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and put my liner back in, which will assure no water gets in it or on it. Anytime it rains, that bed liner's like a tub. It retains all the water in it. For the guys that don't understand what cores are in what I do, I don't show that much work that involves cores, but this job is a good example. Now, I have shown using cores in the past on Keith Rucker's patterns. Sometimes he will have one that will require a core, and usually it's just a cylinder core that leaves a hole going through the cylinder. On this particular casting, this block here is a core print. This is the actual casting that we're going to make off of this pattern. Now, the only reason for that block is you have draft angle all over, right? Except for right there. Those little pads, they can't. It'd be easier if they were solid all the way down, and we wouldn't even have to worry about a core, and then they could come back in and mill that. But they wanted to create that pad right there with a core. The only way this is going to come out is this way. If we tried to mold pads in there and pull it, it would rip out the sand. It's not coming out that way. So the cores look just like this piece, except they have a piece down below that leaves, actually, it leaves a lot more pad. It goes down past the block here. I'm not sure what was going on with the core box. I have two theories. That core box works for two different kind of patterns. There was a little difference between one model or 1 year and another. They made the core box to where the core could be sanded down for this one, or leave it alone, and the other one, it would fall right in. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two, the Foundry, to make sure somebody else would have fits with this, trying to mold it using the core box in this pattern that was supplied. They had a secret on how to do this and hoped if this fell into the hands of someone outside of their foundry, they would throw it back on the customer and tell him, look, it's not going to work after trying it one time. Me, on the other hand, I spent about 3 or 4 days making molds and then putting cores in there that would not work. And I'll show you why in a minute. I only want to roll this one time with it half full. I do not want to be tumbling this entire mold with both sides full of sand. We're going to start off with the drag in first. Go ahead and ram this up. Now you see this little area right here? Let me move that for a second. That little gap between this boss here and the core print, we're going to want to push sand right in there by hand and make that pretty tight. Before we ram it up really tight, we want to get this snug, because if we don't, that's going to break off. I've already done 10 of these, so I pretty much know what to expect on number 11 and 12. And I'm going to tell you that nothing worked like it should at the beginning. And I don't know, we might have a failure tonight. We'll see. And remember what I said, guys, about that gap? It's going to be right here on this side of that core print. So I'm going to go ahead and push that down now before I forget. So back to cores. The main purpose for a core is to displace the metal where you don't want it. Yeah, that sounds good. Kilroy couldn't have come up with a better term than that. I'm going to actually pour these last 4 tonight because customers got to have it, and I got other customers that's got to have their iron. So I got to get this job done and out of the way. We still have another part to cast for this job. It's in a mold by itself. It's not on board. And I had a few handles that didn't make it. They had too much shrinkage. So we're just gonna ram it in. Okay. Alright, so the handle. I was having shrinkage right there. So I've started putting a riser on the last half dozen. So I'm going to have to recast some of these handles. Unfortunately, this is on the board with the rest of them. So I'm just going to make an individual mold for the handles. I'll evaluate them, get up with the customer, see how much shrinkage is allowed, because even on the original casting that he sent me, there was a slight degree of dip in there. So I just need to see what's permissible. On the first attempt, I think I showed you last week, or the last video, we had a lot of shrinkage going on in that casting, and it looked terrible. There were cavities all in it. So that's the purpose for this. We are using a yellow brass, which the one he sent was red brass. And he said it's not a problem as long as they all match. So we're going to make sure we keep them all matching, but at the same time we have to take a little additional care to give these some blind risers to accommodate for any excessive shrinkage. Got some spots on my screen that are sticking. All right, so dump a little more on these, and then I'm gonna, these are not pinned in place, so I'm going to press sand around them. Like right here. I'll push down on that and pack it good. And then on this little riser, which is right there, I'm going to do the same thing. And now it won't shift all over the place as I dump more sand in. Now I'm going to go easy with these edges because, like I said, it will shift the risers around. I don't need that. Coyotes. My wife's in the house trying to sleep, and those stupid dogs are cutting up with the coyotes. Now, since I have to dry these out with a torch anyway, I'm just using my air nozzle. I'm not using the bellows tonight. So that pulled pretty clean down there. Now if I go to push a core down in there, the way things are now, you see those little angled right here and here? They're on a 45-degree angle. What was frustrating was I was looking at this angle here, and I was thinking that is what sets on there at first. And that's not true. This little step, this piece of square sand sticking out past the bevel, all that plane has to be brought down to the same level as that in order to keep from crushing the features on the inside of this mold. So I'm going to go ahead and knock those down and blend the bevel in now before I go any farther. So Eddie had a bunch of these screws here, and they are the perfect tool for taking that sand down. It's just a cylindrical file. I'm trying to do this on camera, and I'm not doing it. I'm not a steady hand doing it on an angle like this. But you see how it's filing it on down? Just got to make it flush with the rest of that. So I'm going to have some sand break off anyway as I test fit this. Main thing I'm looking at right now is I want this to be as close this way as I can on that shoulder, and this plane and that plane be the same, as good as I can get it, because brass is going to flow in right here. That's going to be a solid part right here. Here on the ends, no, that's not. But like I said, I'm gonna pull this core out now and blow it back out, because I did tear a little bit of sand loose on the radius there. Just a little more. Go ahead and dress that now. All right. I'll have them both setting vertically as I heat the mold up. Hopefully, well, I got one more to go after this one, and then I'll pour them. It's already 12:54 a.m. But the good thing is it's 60 degrees out here, so I'm not having to run the fan. Yes, guys, it is now wintertime in Mississippi. Go ahead and put a little radius there. We do not want a sharp edge there. I'm going to lightly brush this and kind of radius that out too. Looks right. One more after this, and we will be done with this part of the casting. I hope. This is what I got to show for, and all the time I've put into it. All of these have to be recast. The handles were on the match plate with these, and every single one of these have shrinkage right there. And of course, that finish is not acceptable anyway. But yeah, I had shrinkage in the body of these. I ended up putting a big riser on there, as you can see, to resolve that. These I haven't got to yet to start cleaning up, but so everything I have touched on this job needs attention. I'll put this back where it goes. For the time being. So this job has sucked the life out of me the last several weeks, trying to get good castings. I have repoured I don't know how many just to get what I've got so far. Another 2 weeks of work and I'll be done with it. Thing is, I've got to get some cast iron straight edges along with some other things some other customers are waiting on. I got to get that cranked out. That's stuff that I know I can do with no problems, with no issues, and it will give the guy that I need out here grinding for me, it'll give him plenty of work to do while I focus back on this. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to have to shut this job down for now, get back on the cast iron, focus on that, get it caught up, get it out the door, and then we will come back to this. I'm not quitting it, but there are some things I need to do to prep the pattern a little better in order to get this to work right. And to be fair, there was probably about 6 days that I wasn't able to do anything in the foundry. We had to make a trip down to Florida, and we canceled our trip to New England this year. I was really looking forward to that, but there was no way I could get any of this work out the door and be gone that long. So yeah, it's very frustrating. Last week, my dad bottomed his 75 horse New Holland tractor out in the pond. There was no way to get it out with the other tractor, so I ended up winching it with a come along. And I couldn't take my time doing it and do it right and safe. Needless to say, I strained myself and I was out. I couldn't do anything for about 3 days because of that. And I told Josie the other day, you know, guys, I work out here as long as I can stay awake. I'm out here trying to get stuff done, and I can't do that anymore. I want to enjoy what I'm doing, and at the same time, I have to have a cutoff time in the evening. I'm either going to work from 5 to 3 or 7 to 5 out here. And after 5 or after 3, whatever it is, I'm done. I'm done. No Foundry work after that time. Starting Monday morning at 5 a.m., we're going to make molds for straight edges, along with some other customers that have some cast iron parts unrelated to the straight edges. We're going to get all that caught up and get it out the door. I do have a guy that has been coming out to grind. He's retired, and if I can get him some stuff to grind, because there's a lot of time invested in just the grind and cleanup. So if he can handle that part of it, I can be ramming up more molds and pouring more castings. Now, the straight edges, I've got them nailed down. Well, knock on wood. I know what to expect, and I feel pretty good that we're going to have close to 100% success rate with the straight edges, and possibly the other items that are going to be molded that are going in with that. But the bottom line is Keith is desperately needing these straight edges because he has to get a machine before the classes that he has, and it's already, I think I've already went past the time to where these will ship, so I'm going to have to drive them down to Columbus, Georgia, and meet up with him to exchange them. I'm getting stressed out, guys. I don't know what to do. I don't know which way to turn. I'm getting overwhelmed by work, and you know, it seems like that's been the way it seems like it's been that way from the beginning, though, doesn't it? I'm not getting enough sleep. It's affecting my health, and yeah, I'm gonna get my rest and my quality time off work like I used to have, and I'm getting too old to be trying to work round the clock like that. And even on that set schedule, I should make perfect time with the straight edges. So I should. But anyway, I'm enough ranting. I just wanted to kind of, I haven't had enough time to even do videos, but I've got a promotional video I got to have out by Wednesday for review, and I think you'll like it. It's something that's going to help me with pattern making for some of my own projects that I have out here. But we'll cover that when that video comes out. It seems like the last 2 or 3 months I have been working right up to the edge to get somebody taken care of because they have a construction crew waiting on them. They'll have rental equipment scheduled for that day, and they can't do anything until they get the castings, right? And it seems like it's been like that for 2 or 3 months, and miraculously I pulled it off somehow. But I'm tired of working like that, guys. I am tired of working like that. I try not to promise a deadline. I will pretty much climb the highest tree to avoid giving anybody a deadline if I can help it. And I hear the same story. Well, you're the only one. Well, it don't matter. I still got, if I keep letting this kind of work hit me and keep me up at all hours of the night, it's going to eventually kill me, and I won't be doing anybody any good dead. So, yeah. But on a on a totally unrelated note, not this weekend, but the next weekend, October the 31st through November the 1st, is the annual Soule Steam Festival. And it's worth the trip out there, guys. If you've never been, you need to come. I made this announcement a couple of years ago on time, and we had quite a few people coming as far as from Texas, Oklahoma, and Atlanta. We had people coming in from all over, and they all were very appreciative that I mentioned it, because they had no idea this place existed. If you want to go into a place and step back in time 100 years and see how things were manufactured, how foundries operated, how the machine shop operated, how line shafts operate, this is the place you need to go to. It's frozen in time. If you have to drive several states over to see it, you won't regret it. There's something for everybody. Your wife, your kids, grandkids. So see about making a little road trip out to visit us. To the best of my knowledge, I'll be pouring some brass or bronze, something like that. And we also have a guy that does aluminum, and he'll be out there. He does it on a smaller scale, but he's got a lot better setup, a lot more predictable setup than I do. Come on out and say hi. So I'll talk to you later, guys. Have a good day. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.